Wow. Oh my word. Take 477. I'm just throwing a number out there. Wow, I haven't filmed in a while, and obviously I do not read a script. So I'm just trying to remember everything that I need to say, and the word seems to appear here and there. I noticed, like in shopping haul videos a while ago, everything was cute. It's so cute, and look at this, it's so cute. And I've heard other people on YouTube saying that. It's so funny what you do, so I will try my best to not say but I was doing it obviously to try to think of where I was going to go next. So, I think I need to go back to filming school. All right, finally, I am here. Can you believe it? I hope no one has fainted. I mean, I can't believe I'm still standing. Good thing I have the windows open with fresh air and good ventilation. All right, the coffee staining videos have begun. I can't believe it, finally. I hope you have as much fun as I have had. Oh my word. I have learned so many different designs to make with coffee staining. Today will be very easy. Don't judge the videos or my intelligence on today's video. I'm going to ease you in. It's still beautiful. We're going to do this pattern, and well, this pattern is actually similar. It's just this is darker and lighter version makes it look completely different, and the small one is on, believe it or not, a good size piece of paper, a legal size piece of copy paper. That just shows you how big this journal is, that it makes the legal size copy paper look small. This would be a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper that I've cut down a little bit, which would have originally been like this, but see that white, the white bag, it just doesn't pair well at all with something that when you're trying to make something look so old-fashioned. So just to get color on the back, it's effortless. There isn't much of a technique involved, all but I'm going to literally start the coffee staining process just by blotting the paper with a towel. And I don't know, maybe I don't watch many YouTube videos to see what people are actually doing, but I've come up with different techniques, and I will literally stop the staining process, and it's lending amazing results. Amazing. So there's a lot to this, you know, a lot more to this than some people are aware of. So just regular copy paper, and then I've also got, it's kind of like copy paper, but obviously it's ivory, and I believe it's 11 by 17, so that's a really decent size, and that would be what I've done the cover with. And this one right here. Don't know if I'm going to get this paper into this video. If I don't, I'll make sure that I get it into the next video that will follow. And with the same paper, you can see the different results. It's amazing. You wouldn't believe the different looks now. If you are following me on Instagram, you would have seen pop-up photos here and there as I've been working for the last few months. So, if I distance myself from YouTube videos for a while, make sure you log on to Instagram and you can see what I'm doing. So it helps. But I will be teaching, so on YouTube, hopefully on a regular basis now. And if I can utilize this kitchen, hey, this is really going to help me big time. Okay, I am back. Not that you noticed I was gone or anything, but I sort of had, let's say, a hiccup in the presentation. It's possible. I'm overtired. Okay, to try to pick up where I was. Where was I anyway? I think I've already gone over this, so I'm just going to set this to one side. Maybe this should just be a little bit of a comedy video. Fabric strips. Let's go there. Wow. I made a ton. So, you will want to do this. If anyone requests how I did this, I will do a little video, but I'm sure you can just take a little piece of material and just put a little cut with your scissors and then just rip it apart. And you'll end up with this depending on how far you want to space them. I literally just lay the material down on like a grid mat, and then I just snip along, like if I want every 3 inches, 2.5, 4, and will then line up so many, and then I'll just tear, and they'll all come out perfect. So why I did this was for the binding. It really is the most fitting for this type of paper. I tried paper on the binding. I really didn't like it too much. Didn't really want to go in with lace. I just really wanted it to look very old-fashioned, kind of like it's almost bringing you back to what they could have done years ago, like on the House on the Prairie type age. I was looking up just to see when instant coffee was invented, and it was developed in around 1930. So it's going towards 100 years ago. To think that if I hadn't added something like this, and maybe I would have gone in with old newspaper instead of this. You could even find 1930 newspaper that would really be appropriate, and you could really make these books look very, very old-fashioned and authentic, especially too going in with the material and then your thread to bind it. I have to mention something because I can put journals together perfectly. Well, this one is a little bit on the large side, so as you can see, I would have found the center, and most people would clip. I could have clipped it like that. Don't really know if the clips would have caught this or not. Definitely wouldn't have caught that. But I ended up using like hem binding clips that you would use for sewing, and they came down probably this far into the page, and it was great. Just one here, and put the holes. I wasn't thinking that it was going to shift when I went to pick the paper up, and wow, it just moved like that, where if you had everything clipped, some people will do like 4 clips. It doesn't move, and you can just insert the needle and thread, pull up through, and I mean, you're done in probably less than a minute to literally sew this together. So what did I do? I literally had to take each individual piece and put the needle through it, I would have started from the outside, in, then go in the side, come up through that same hole, not to split the thread. So that was the trickiest, and then when you're back down, it went fine. But honestly, I feel like I really put this together. It was a different feeling than flying and sewing it together. It made me feel like I was literally back 100 years ago. So it was really fun. It was a little bit challenging, but hey, it came out perfect. So if you ever get yourself in that spot I can sympathize for you, but honestly, if it ever happened again, it was really, it kind of just gives you a few more little patience than you already thought you had. It helps. All right, we are going to have fun. So again, this is very easy. This will just get you interested in coffee staining. The oven is not necessary, and this is amazing for us hitting summertime weather to not have the stove on. It is amazing. If you think this is old-fashioned, you should see what you're going to be making. It's going to make this look kind of on the clean line. When we have spots all over and heavy coffee on the edge, you do not need to put your paper in the oven to get that heavy burned edge. It can occur just by setting it on the countertop. Now this is one thing I will mention before I get into actually laying a few towels down, and I'll start with this and then go into this page, and this is just literally setting it right on the countertop, and I'm going to spray coffee all over right on the counter. I don't know, I kind of say I'm a perfectionist. That's because I try to do work as perfect as I can. I mean, who wants to do something and have all of your pages up and down and all out of line? I've literally seen people put their pages all in and then they go, wow. I'm just going to say that. Because if you look at this, I've literally centered them, centered that. I don't know why, but this paper seems to be, the darker paper seems to be a little bit larger than the lighter. It's the same paper, but I would have put more coffee on this, so I think it stretched. The size of the same paper literally can change. So that little tiny bit, I would go from page to page, getting them exactly centered. So I am a little bit fussy. I'm saying that because when I get into this, you're not going to believe your eyes to the mess that you're going to see. So you're going to witness something else. If you would like to take this to your garage, or if you have a horse barn, that is fitting, but if you don't mind getting coffee, it washes up, and literally, I mean, I couldn't have picked a more appropriate countertop for doing things like this. I never thought that I would be doing all this coffee staining on this counter. But even if I didn't lift the coffee off with dish soap, it would blend right in because it's really just that little color to begin with. I don't know if you have granite. You may just want to do this on a folding table. And then I got thinking, you know that bumpy texture on folding tables? You're going to probably get a different look. You may get little dots appearing, and I've got to try that myself because it sounds quite interesting. So I'll probably work that into a video because I have quite a few tables right now in the garage from holding a yard sale that I can go out, and knowing me, I'll probably be trying it today just to see if it's going to lend a different result, and if it does, I'll post it on Instagram and then work it into a YouTube video. Alright, well, I hope that I have gone through just about everything that I have needed to and haven't forgotten anything. Alright, so we're going to start with this one, very easy, and then we're going to go on to this, and you're not going to believe how easy it is. So we're just going to have a time, and it's going to really be a lot of fun. I have had so much fun. I just wish you the best. So I'm just going to get right into the video. Okay, I'll be right there. Okay, I'm going to be using a Hobby Lobby spray bottle. Fairly reasonable. I think it was only about $4 or $5. I did have 3 of them, but something happened to the little spring inside, and it is very important that when you're working with coffee, it can be a little bit sticky, that you rinse these really well. You can take this little piece out right here and get the water right inside a little bit better. Kind of a little on the tricky side. Get it back. I've literally thought at different times that the sprayers would be broken, but they weren't at all. They just needed to be cleaned. Just run them under hot water and it will free everything up. And take the end off and just run water everywhere you can. And just put hot water inside and make sure you spray it and spray it until it sprays clean, and then you're set to go. So you could probably refill them a few times without rinsing them, but don't go too far without cleaning them, just like I guess if you had a paint sprayer. Alright, so there is Folgers Instant Coffee and Great Value. I love the Great Value. So you put a little bit of warm water. Oh, some nice winds, and that's what I just mentioned on Instagram. That when I'm cooking in this kitchen, the wind will whip through because we have a cross breeze and it's really nice. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of this just so that the coffee won't stick. And I'm just simply going to add 3 heaping tablespoons of coffee. And that's all. That's all there is to it. And then fill it up with warm or hot water. Now this is really necessary that you just get a little stainless steel funnel, or you'd have coffee all over the place. Trust me. There are techniques that I will use hot water, it's just as hot as I can get it, which I do have it turned on to the hot right now. And then you just want to shake it a little bit. You'd think that the coffee would literally plug the sprayer, but it doesn't. And you can see it's a really nice color. I will spray it a little bit in the sink. Alright, so I think I'm going to have to reposition the iPad a little bit, and then I'll get a better view. I'm going to grab my towels here, and this is just a piece of cake. To do this, I'm just going to lay them face side down. Hopefully everything will get in the camera just fine. I'm just gonna go around the edge. Pretty easy. I just want full coverage on this. I don't want blotches. So I'm just going to make sure that I try to get full coverage anyway. And it ends up on the floor, so I end up washing the tile because it sprays pretty much every direction. Just wait until we get going. Oh, I can really make a mess. You have never seen anything like it in your life. It's fun. Alright, and then your hand feels like it's going to get in the cramp, so then you switch, and that helps. Oh, our freezer is so noisy. Alright, look at the different colors. Obviously from the other side. Now I'm not really going to let that set too long. If you see any area that doesn't look like it has coffee on it, just go ahead and you can do little touch-ups. It's funny, the paper, this is a smooth backed paper and this is just coming out speckled. So I did notice that. And this is the funniest thing. This is K & Company paper that you can buy at Joann Fabrics. I believe it's $29.99 for the largest paper pack of your life. I mean, I don't even know. It's amazing how thick it is. I think that I've been lucky enough to buy a couple of these, and if you can buy them 50% off, and I believe that's how I bought them, it's really worth it. Oh, the patterns are amazing, but I don't know what it is. When you spray this paper with coffee, it smells like a Chinese restaurant. Now, this is the only paper I know of that I have that does that, but it literally gives the odor of Chinese food, so it's really funny. Okay, now I think that this has definitely set enough. I'm just going to go ahead and blot that off, and if you don't want to see like any lines, it will eventually come off, as you can see, but right away I was seeing the lines. You can just use a smooth towel and you won't have that issue, but it will dry. It just takes a couple times. Now I can see that right here didn't quite get covered, but I believe it did somewhat. Now this is a smooth towel, so you'll see the difference. It just dries it right away. So that's a good thing to remember. If you don't want to work so hard, just go in with a smooth towel. And this is how easy it is to turn that white backed paper to just the perfect shade. Easy, easy. That's all there is to it. So I'll probably just take this, and I have clean tiled floors. A lot of times I'll set it right in front of the sliding glass door. We use the other entrance, so it's mainly just a place to look out. And I'll just set it right there because the sun comes in and will dry it rather quickly. Now, the coffee would have gone through a little bit, but not so much to where it would bother the image. It does age it a little bit, but nothing that would take the beautiful color away. You can see it looks fine, and I will come back and show all of the little papers once they've dried. Alright, I'm just going to find a place for this, and then I'm going to go on to the other two styles of paper. another bottle because I'm probably going to run out. So I'm just going to start with this. Hopefully you're going to get a decent view of what's happening. I'm just going to go all the way around the edge. And then I'm going to go back and forth similar to what I had done, but you're going to see that something different is going to happen because we're now spraying directly on the countertop. So all this warping is going to take place. And that's what we're looking for. So, wow, I'm barefoot. Good thing I'm actually spraying coffee all over the floor. I think because I have the windows open, it's taking the coffee. Yeah, that's all right. At least I like to clean. Now, you would notice, and that's fine, that has gone into the other paper. Remember, this is that very old-fashioned looking paper that we're going to get. These lines, I'll stop right here just to show you, these lines will actually happen right down the middle of all these bubbles. It is the strangest looking thing when this happens. It automatically happens. You think, how are you getting that? What are you doing? Nothing. It's doing it all on its own, but I will show you something because when I'm through spraying these, I will go back and I'll spray in between and I'll darken to do this. So it's really a riot. But we weren't getting all of this bubbling and warping when we had the paper on towels. So, and the towels are really needed for many different techniques. When you want to achieve perfection with the paper, and paper that you would write on and you don't want it warping, you wouldn't want to lay it down like this. Putting it on towels is just perfect. I've learned quite a bit. And going back and forth really gets that warping to happen. It's amazing. The little warping and the puckering and bubbles and stuff, it's just all different. So it's going to be all different styles to view when it's done. Just wait until the mess that I create as we go here. If this looks messy, it isn't. This is actually clean. So you don't move this. I ended up just taking that previous paper and just setting it on the counter because there were only 6 sheets. When I do paper, I'm just used to filling the bar, and other papers I'll do like 100 at a time, so I'm just running all over the place trying to find a place to put everything. And like I thought, excuse me, walking in front of the camera, I'm gonna run out. Let's get your hands. So, unlike the previous paper, we don't blot anything, it just stays as is, and I'm actually going to go in and spray a little bit more. And when I go to work on the other paper, I'll only do 2 tablespoons of coffee versus the 3, and it will give a lighter look. Now, I can still see that coffee is right here, so where it's already kind of started to dry, I'm just going to go in between and get some of that back, and it's just going to darken it a little bit. That's because I want this to be dark. So I guess what happens to get those dark lines is the coffee is drawn up because this is going to dry first. So you got that little string hanging. The coffee is going to be drawn up to where these air pockets are, all of the bubbles, and it's going to end up giving these lines. It's kind of neat. And it is the funniest thing when paper dries on the counter like this. The kids thought, I don't know, I must have gone to bed one night and the kids were still up. And they said, we heard snapping in the kitchen. I thought, snapping? They were really concerned. They didn't know what they were hearing. Well, I happened to be out here the next time I had done a batch, and this paper will literally adhere down to the countertop, and when it goes to lift up and let go, it will snap and crackle. You literally think it sounds like fire shooting out of the electrical outlets. So you wonder, what is that? So I'm warning everybody ahead of time. You'll know what it is and what to expect. But again, you may want to do this on a folding table. Me, I'm not fussy. I can wash the countertop. And I have the windows open, and I will probably aim a fan over here. Doesn't that look lovely? Look, it's dripped down. Sometimes it drips down on the stool or the floor. So you just walk around, excuse me again, and you clean up. And it's so worth it because this paper is going to be beautiful when it dries. So I will literally let this dry and I will show you the finished results. But I'm going to go over and I'll spray I think I'm literally going to leave it dark, and then I'll do one more batch and that will be the light one, and then I'll show you the difference. So I'm just going to spray it with the darker, and then I'll go in and make the lighter version, which is just the 2 tablespoons instead of the 3. And this is like a little mini version. So it's just the same thing. I can just spray a couple of these and then wait for these to dry and then come back because it's just the same exact thing. Very easy. I always go around the edge, as you've noticed. There are tons of techniques. And it's funny, you change something just a little bit and it lends a completely different look. So if you want certain looks, you have to stick right to what is really a little recipe. Well, looky, it's all dry. Oh no, I'm going to get laughing and shaking the camera. I did go ahead and wash the countertop down. Honestly, it was the easiest cleanup ever. So don't be afraid to do this in your kitchen. This is so easy. We'll see what you think when we get going, whether you want to do it in the kitchen or take it out in a garage. But this was just so easy. There's barely any coffee really left on the countertop because it just soaks into the paper. So I just had a little bit of coffee around the paper itself, and pretty much just dry underneath. Very little coffee actually sticks to the countertop. So this is just neat and amazing. I mean, who would think that all these designs would appear from just spraying the paper? I mean, we didn't really have to do anything. How easy. Spray the paper around the edges. and then spray on the inside, and all of this happens. This is amazing because I love like Indian prints and things along that line. This has the look. I collect Indian pottery. I have a few Indian photos, and this paper is going to pair perfect. I'm just dying to get making something with those Indian prints that I have. I think it will be the neatest thing. Okay, one thing I want to point out, and it's this paper right here. It didn't happen much. I wish it would happen more. Most of the paper just automatically lets go from the countertop when it dries. A few will stick. I actually like it if a few will stick, but this was the only one that it happened to. Can you see that decal edge? This would be because probably I didn't wait for it to completely dry, because obviously when it does, it normally lets go by itself. So I just came in and found this being pretty much the last one, and just pulled it apart, but I'll try to get close. See that natural decal edge? That's just pulling it off of the countertop and having that little tiny bit automatically do this as you tug on it, and it's not difficult to clean from the counter. I love it. I wish it would happen more often. It's so good that I'll probably end up crafting with this instead of, folding it and putting it in a journal. It's just really nice, kind of gives that burned, ripped look, which I do tear my own paper, but honestly, this is different. So it's really neat. Now I have gone ahead and done a few more batches. I wanted to do some light colored paper, and I also wanted to do some with Folgers, and it did get darker, so you'll be able to see that. But it's so fun. No two papers are alike. Every single paper has a different design. You may be seeing lines. Sometimes you'll have the look of arrows will appear, which is really neat. See if I can kind of go in close on things. It's really something when you see it in person. This one kind of has a washed out look right there. That's kind of neat in person. So I would have gone in when you saw me adding spray. That's what would have darkened this paper. If you don't do that, so much you'll have a nice light look. And if you want your paper extra light, only spray it once. Don't go back in and add the extra coffee. And oh my word, all of the different looks that you can get with this same technique, it's amazing. Okay, believe it or not, this is the back of the paper. It's as pretty as the front with the same exact design. Now this would be because we're spraying this paper with coffee right directly on the countertop. If this would be on a towel, your reverse side of the paper would actually just stay plain. But because you are right on the countertop, the design is going to go completely through to the back, which is amazing. So, oh my word, how many techniques are there? Tons. So, I have to give a little idea here. Maybe you're somebody who likes to write down quotes, jot down, I don't know, little special moments, Bible scriptures. It goes on and on and on, how you could just write right in between these lines. Just perfect for journaling. You could add little stamped images, little stickers. You could really make the pages look amazing. So just a few little ideas to sneak in. All right, I'm going to be right back and share some more paper. Okay, so I've gone ahead and spread all this paper out, which at the end there, it would be a lighter version, and I would have, I believe, gone in with the Great Value instant coffee, and I have changed to Folgers instant coffee for this batch, which would be 8 large sheets of the ivory paper, and it is indeed darker. The same exact recipe of 3 heaping tablespoons of instant coffee. Look at that. That is wild. Wow, what a beautiful match. And that's what I was saying. Who would know if I had coffee spilled on this countertop? Look at how the paper matches that. It's like a match made in heaven. Now this would be the lighter version. It is amazing. Again, no 2 papers are alike for the styles. It really is so much fun. Oh my word. Get ready. Get ready to be addicted to paper staining. You're going to have so much fun to be able to craft with this and make so many different things, along with adding this to journaling, books, and greeting cards. All right, well, I'm going to be right back. Okay, well, here we are, and I'm filming the bar here with paper. It's almost dry. This would be a very light version, still not quite as light as I had shown in my journal, but I'm satisfied. I could keep going and take it just a little bit lighter, but I actually like seeing the lines a bit, where the paper in my journal, it was so light that I don't even think the lines came out where the bubbling would have been. This really is a fun process, and it's really fun to mix in all shades of coffee staining into journals. You really could go in with just this style, and wow, there's many more to follow, that's for sure. I'm just going to keep coming with the coffee staining videos, and you won't believe it, the different looks that we're going to get, different techniques we'll use. So this would be the 11 by 17 inch. It's almost dry. I haven't washed the counter for this video or removed the paper. It is as is, how I would walk to it and view it. And this would be the legal size copy paper. So you can see it's a very light version. So I would have just used the 2 flat tablespoons for this batch, and I would not have gone in to spray again. Like sometimes I'll go in between where the bubbling is. I really wanted this to stay a light color, so I only sprayed once. So even if you wanted to take this a little bit lighter, just go a little bit less than the 2 flat tablespoons, and you'll even get a different look than this. All right, well, I sure hope that you've enjoyed these videos. I've had a ton of little videos mixed into the one here, and I will be coming back to share, wow, so many more coffee staining videos, and we're going to actually take it up many notches from this, and you're going to see how to make very, very elegant coffee stained paper. Well, I thank you for watching. Bye-bye. And I almost forgot something very important, so I'm coming back. And that would be, make sure that if you're running a fan, that you don't aim it towards your table that you're coffee staining on and head off to bed at night. Because through this video, wow, I was in for a shocker. I had forgotten that I had changed floor fans and had aimed quite a powerful fan on this bar. You would not have believed what my paper looked like the next day. I had actually gone into my craft room before heading into the kitchen, and my little boy met me in there, and he said, "Have you been in the kitchen yet?" And I said, "No." I could tell the look on his face, and I said, "Is it too light?" Because I was trying to make a light coffee stained batch, and sometimes it can really come out light, like I was saying. I do like it, but you won't even see any lines. He said, "I don't think so." And I knew the second question to ask. I said, "Is it all warped?" And he said, "Kinda." You would not have believed your eyes. The paper was literally rolled and folded right up on top of itself. And that was because the fan was aimed right on it and the paper just curled. So it's still relaxing, and I really didn't want to share. I ended up filming and had deleted that part because there just wasn't any sense. It had never happened to me before. I had gone from a low-powered fan to a higher-powered one, even on the low setting. It was too much. So it is a very good idea to aim a fan on this, especially with the darker staining. You will have staining that appears where the fan has aimed the closest onto the paper, and it's really amazing. It literally changes the look. So I would advise you to get a fan on this, but watch out for the paper drying completely and rolling up. Catch it right then and remove the fan. And you'll notice where the air hits the paper the closest, you will have different shading, and you can go right down the table and see all different shades with the same batch. It's quite neat. So there's a lot to it. As you go on, you're going to learn all these different little techniques and what works for you. Okay, well again, I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.